This is Parashat Shoftim. There is an incident at the end of the parasha. Everybody likes to talk about the beginning of the parasha. We talk about the end of the parasha. Now, at the end of the parasha, there is an incident like this that we learn a lesson of life from it. Now, what do we learn lesson of life? Torah says, if you find a challah is a corpse that was assassinated, he was killed. But at the moment, then we find outside of the city, we find the challah corpse. No, nowadays what happens? Who cares? Happens. That Torah says no. We have to measure which city is closest city to this challah, to this corpse. And that city is responsible for this corpse. For this dead body, that city is responsible. Now, listen to me. If a person is responsible for a corpse that's next to the city closest, surely it's responsible what happens in the city itself. What's going on in the city itself. Now, then Torah says, not enough. Then who should come? The elders of the city, they should get the ekila, female calf, and they have to bring it as a korban. And this korban, they have to bring it. And then after that, bringing the korban, they have to wash their hands on this calf. And they should say, Anu Amru. Our hands didn't split this blood. And our eyes didn't see. Kapir, grant atonement to your nation Israel that you redeemed them and added them, and you should not place the blood that's innocent among Israel, and this dam should be atonement. Oh, very interesting. If you find the corpse outside of the city, who is responsible? The murderers of the city, they have to go after the robbers of the city, or the elders of the city. And they bring the korban and they wash their hands and says, our hands, we didn't spill this dam. Now what? Rashi says, what do you think? Do you think the elders are murderers? They come and they shed the blood of this person? Well, nowadays, what's the technique? We have to go after robbers of the city, murderers of the city. Rashi says, they are murderers. Rashi says, that means to say that we didn't see him leaving town and we didn't give him food on the way, or we didn't accompany him. In other words, if we would have seen him that he's leaving town and we wouldn't care for him, we wouldn't give him Muslim food, and we wouldn't accompany him, we are responsible for his death. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should know that we didn't see him. Interesting. He didn't die through hunger. He was assassinated. He was killed. What do I mean that we are not responsible for his blood because we didn't see him leaving town? What does leaving town, giving him food, and accompany him has to do with the fact that he was killed? A lot of times we feel in life, things happen to other people around us. I say, oh, I'm not part of it. I got nothing to do with this. The robber city, the murderer city. But I said, no, elders. We have to understand things doesn't just happen. We are accustomed to think only sword kills. But that's not only sword kills. There is a cold blood. It's the cold blood that the cause of being murdered is like a murderer. In other words, Torah is telling us this person came to the city. Did anybody care for him? Did anybody come? How are you? How is everything? You need food to accompany him, to support him, to give him mental health, that he should feel good about himself. Or everybody was doing busy with his job, with his things. Nobody cared for him. And he left alone in the city. He felt nobody, nothing. And he was so frustrated with himself. Therefore, he was so weak. When somebody is so weak, when he goes out, anybody could kill him. Anybody could destroy him. But that death, that killing, who is responsible for it? The one who didn't give him the chizuk, the one who didn't support him, the one who didn't provide the mental health for him. He is responsible for this death. Therefore, Torah is telling us a lot of times soldiers go to war, and we don't give him the weapon to fight, and he would be killed. Say, oh, that's not my fault. It's not your fault. We didn't give him the weapon. In our family, in our society, when we don't give right weapon to people, when we don't give right weapon to our children, give them self-esteem, give them the support, encourage them, and show them how important they are, that they should feel good about themselves. Once we do that, they're strong in the battlefield of life, they're going to be succeeding. But what about if we don't do that? We are not encouraging, we just put them down. Husband puts on the wife, wife puts on the husband, and we put down the children, put down their friends. We don't give them the chizuk and support that they need. Then in the battlefield of life, they collapse. And then we say, it wasn't my fault, it was his fault. No, Torah is telling us here, the elders of the city, they should come. And they should say that our hands didn't spill this blood because we didn't see him. But if we would have seen him and we let him go, we wouldn't care for him, we were responsible for it. The Torah is giving us very important insight about the mental and psychology of people. Whenever that we meet somebody, we have to be encouraging. Somebody was saying that somebody was very sad and depressed, and he went and he talked to him, made him happy. After a while, he wrote him a letter and he said that I owe you my life. He said, why? What happened? He said, that day that you spoke to me, I was deciding to commit suicide. And because you encouraged me, I didn't do it. You never know where people are holding. Whenever you meet a person, you should feel he needs history, he needs it. You don't know which station of life he's in. You never know. Therefore, whoever, especially our children, our wife, relatives, whenever that we see, the word of chizuk and support goes very far. And nowadays, in society that we are living, everybody needs that. Everybody in a station of collapse. Everybody needs chizuk and support. Nobody likes to be put down, and that's not the way to go. You have to elevate people, the Roman people. But Tom says that, we just slap on standard. We don't slap on people. If you have a habit of slapping, do it on standard, not on people. People we elevate, we encourage, and we give them. Once we do that, we give them mental health. The battlefield they are stronger, and just opposite. After 120 years, they come and give somebody. They say, all of the zechut that yes, yours. Why? What? Because that day that we gave him encouragement, that caused him to elevate himself. He went to a shiur. After the shiur, he will grow and grow. All of the things that he grew in his life, you cause it, and you get zechut and merit. Life is a zone of collecting zechut and merit, and that's Elul about. Elul is a chodesh of gathering zechut and merit. Any place, any occasion could give chizuk and to other people, to mechazek each other, and that's the best way. Rabbi Ruderman always says in the Elul, what's the avodah of Elul? The avodah of Elul is to become part of the sibur, do something for the community. Get the zechut of the community in your hand. No zechut is the zechut of sibur. Also gives health, gives life, gives everything to a person because of the sibur, because of the congregation. Because sibur, people need him. Person doesn't have any zechut and merit himself, have life, have health, have parnasa. But once he devotes himself to the congregation, people, then the zechut of sibur would help him out. And that's the big yesod in Elul, using the Elul and to be sochet din and all of the Sheva Bracha for yourself and all of your family.